Hey guys, this is Yolanda Monique and I'm going to be talking to you about Mascara 101. A co-worker of mine wanted to know how she could find the best mascara for her, and after talking to her and explaining to her my experience and my opinion and my thoughts, I decided to do a video for you guys on the same thing. So if you're curious to know how I think you should get the perfect mascara for you, stay tuned. Okay, you're here probably to figure out, or at least check and see if I know what I'm talking about when I say the perfect mascara for you. I'm going to break down mascara into two categories that you need to know to find your perfect mascara, and then I'm going to give you tips to either reconstitute, revitalize your mascara, and things you need to know. First, when you're looking for your perfect mascara, you need to take two things in consideration. The first thing is the formula. And the formula is basically what is inside of the tube. We're going to start with the most easiest and obvious thing to do is, do you need to know what it is you want the mascara to do? Do you want it to be for volume? Do you want it to be for length? Do you want it to be to curl your lashes? Do you want it to get color onto your lashes? Not just the black, the brown, and things like that, but do you want like a green mascara to bring out the green in the eyeshadows or your eyes, or a blue mascara and things like that? So you can get a color mascara. Speaking of color, please be aware that not all of them, when they say black, means truly black. The technology now is getting to the point where when they say black, it may actually mean black, but some of the older, more established brands, when they say black, it's a dark shade of gray. Now some of them will say black is black. When you put it on, you're like, okay, that's black. But then, like for me, the Great Lash, the original, it may say black, but it wasn't black. It was like a really dark gray. So that's something to be aware of. If you're looking for black now, you can either go black is black or vinyl black, which means it looks wet when it's not, and things like that. So if you don't like the wet look, stay away from the vinyl mascara formulas. The next thing, since I mentioned formula, is do you like a wet formula or a dry formula? And I'll show you an example of wet. Wet basically means when you pull it out the mascara tube and you put it on your lashes, you have to wait either several seconds to several minutes for it to dry on your lash before you can go to the next coat. An example of a wet formula that I have here is the Almay Get Up and Grow. It is a very wet formula. You can see when you put it on your hand, and when you brush across your hand, you're going to get a lot of product. Now a dry formula, which is the Hard Candy Glamorous Lash, you can see that there's not a lot on the tip, but when you run the brush across your hand, you're not going to get a lot. And that's the difference between immediately that you can look and see whether something is wet or dry. One thing that I want you to know is that if you purchase a wet mascara and you discover you like it dry, one thing that you can do is to open up the container and close it just slightly so that it has that little gap. And then for a day or two, first check every day to see if it's dry to the point that you like it. And so then that's going to help you take a wet mascara and make it dry. If you have a dry mascara and it has become, and you want it to be slightly wet, what you can do is get saline solution or eye drops and place it inside of the hole, and then you can shake up the mascara, use the brush, the wand, and rub it around, and then drop it inside of a hot, not this is a hot, but a hot glass in a mug, and let the heat cause the water and the solution to mix. You can also do this if you're trying to reconstitute a dry mascara, one that's dried to the point but you know that there's something inside of it. One thing to be aware of is that you tend to use dry formulas up a lot quicker than you do wet, because dry formulas, the product dries inside of it, so you don't have as much to use, so you either use it quicker or you end up throwing it away, which is why I discovered if you put the saline solution or the eye drops in it, shake it up and put it in a hot cup, you kind of add more product, liquefy the dried product, and then you have more to use. Knowing your formula is going to help you figure out what mascara you like. And unfortunately, to discover what formula you like, you may have to purchase several different mascaras and then say, okay, well, this one is dry, I like how it feels on my lashes, or I don't, and this is wet and I do or don't like how it feels, before you discover which formula is more you. I will give you some examples that I have of wet and dry formulas. The next thing that I think that you should take into consideration when you're trying to find your perfect mascara is the brush, because you may actually have the perfect formula for you, but because the brush that's with it is not doing what you want it to do, you may have thrown away that mascara, and it could have all been the brush instead of the formula. There are two different types of brushes. There are the wire shaped brushes, and then there's the plastic. The plastic brushes are a little less forgiving when they comb through your lashes. What I mean is, when you are going through your lashes, the plastic ones are a little more stiff, so it's going to give you more definition, and it's going to coat the lashes, but it depends on the shape of the plastic, which will determine what it does to your lashes. And the same thing with the wire. You can have either a sparse wire bristle brush, or you can have a very dense wire bristle brush. And one thing to know about with many of the brushes is that the wire ones come in so many shapes. You can get the cone shape, you can get a spiral shape, you can get a tight spiral, a loose spiral. So again, it's going to be testing out different types to find out whether it was the brush you liked or the formula. But the good thing is, if you've come across a formula that you love, but you've narrowed it down that the brush is the reason why it's not your ideal mascara, you can take the brush from one mascara, such as this. This is a plastic brush. You can see it's from the Hard Candy, but you can see right here that this is the plastic brush. Let's say you discover you love plastic brushes and you love this shape, but you're not thrilled with the formula. And I'm not going to do this right now, but I have done this. Then you can then wash the brush off and then save it for the mascara that you like. So you would then be able to do this. What I recommend is that you basically get scissors or wire cutter, cut off about this much of the brush that you don't like. So you close the container and then just save the brush that you do like, if it doesn't close into the mascara that you like. For me, I have not been able to find one where I love the formula, hate the brush, replace the brush, and the brush makes a perfect fit. Usually there's either it's too long or it's too wide for it to close completely, so I have to basically snap off the end of the one that it's supposed to be with, close it, and then have my brush, I clean it after every use so that when I use it the next time, it's there. Now, first I'm going to go with the wet formulas. And this is, again, the Almay Get Up and Grow One Coat. It is a wet formula, and this has a wire spike brush. And you can see that it's not quite hourglass. It does have a slight indentation, but you can see it's very dense. And I love the formula for this, and I actually love the brush because of how many hairs or bristles on it, it's able to get to my lashes. Another wet formula is from the Maybelline Falsies Volume Express. And this has one of those unique brushes because it's curved. I don't know if you can see how it's, there are bristles that are right here that are sticking out this way, but it's flat here. And so you can see that. So it's supposed to curl your lashes as well as give it volume. Another wet formula is from their Real from Benefits. I have the smaller size. This is a plastic wand, and you can see how it has the little ball tips, and again, it's wet because there's so much product that easily comes off the brush. And if you decide that you love the formula but you're not thrilled with the brush, you can, again, like I said, replace the brush to get the one that you like. From Maybelline Lash Discovery, this is a specialty brush because on the package you can see that it shows you how small the brush is going to be. This is a wire brush, but it's densely packed, and it has, you can definitely see the spirals in it. And I actually use this just for my lower lashes. So you can purchase a brush for specific purposes. And then I included this in the wet. Technically it's a gel formula, but it's so jelly that it's wet. I don't know if that makes sense, but I consider most gel formulas to be wet formulas. But this is from Scandalized Retro. I do like it. I do have to let it dry just a little bit on my lashes. And when I pulled out, you heard that little suction, and look how much is on the end. So you know that that is definitely a wet formula. But look at the brush. You can see that it definitely has the hourglass, and the intent is so that you get more on the outer ends than on the middle part. Now for my dry formulas, again, I'm going to show you this one from Hard Candy. One, because it has a hard plastic wand, and two, because of the color. A color formula. And so you can see how with this one, I notice most of it's concentrated on the insides. So if I want it on my brush, I actually have to get down and wiggle and pull. And I have to make sure that I get my lashes to go to the center of the brush. So this is not my favorite brush, and I don't think that it applies the product very well. The next one is the Volumize from L'Oreal Miss Manga. It was getting a lot of hype and play. And this is what I call a triangle brush, because you can see it looks kind of like a Christmas tree. And it started off wet, but because I've left it open so much, it's now dry. I don't know if you'll get a good look at it, but you can see that it actually spirals up. And so it alternates between that. So that's something that you need to be aware of. Another thing on this brush is that it has a wiggly, flexy, it's supposed to help you get to all of the parts. Some people like that about the brush, some people don't. A staple in my makeup collection is from L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. I love this brush, and I love the formula, and this is one that I can truly say is black. I mean, when they say carbon black, it is black, and it is a spiral brush, and you can see that it's traditional spiral, but it's all the way up until the tip. And every time I purchase it, it's been a dry formula. And then next is Maybelline Illegal Links. This is a fiber mascara, so that would fall under the specialty. And just to know that some people have horrible reactions to fiber mascaras, because if you're wearing contacts and a fiber gets in your eye, oh my god, it is just the most annoying thing. And so when I wear this, I try not to wear my contacts, because if I get a single fiber in my eye, I'm rubbing for days. But if you want links and you want to extend your lashes, fiber mascaras are a good option. I want to point out on this brush that it's actually a square. They're like, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the camera, but it forms a square with the bristles. So it's, I don't know how they did it, but it's like the corners are square. And then you can see some of the fiber. And I'm pretty sure you already know this. You should not share your mascaras with anyone, because it's so close to your eye. Mascaras, you don't know what they have on their eye. They don't know what you have on your eye. Just don't share it. It's just not worth it. An infection in the eye is not nice. If you are sick, and not as in having a common cold or having the flu, and you're sick, do not use your mascaras. And in fact, throw your mascara away. Your eye is a membrane, and so anything that's inside of your body, like a virus or bacteria, is actually going to be in your eye membrane, which means that if you use a mascara, you're getting that virus or that bacteria on the wand, and then you're putting it in a closed container, which is going to increase its ability to multiply. And then you're going to turn around and put it back on your eye, which is going to have a greater chance of infection, getting you sick again, because your membranes are your easiest access to your internal organs. So if you are sick in any shape, form, or fashion, do not use your mascara. If you discover you're sick after you've used your mascara, throw it away, because you don't want to contaminate yourself. And the same thing goes if you have an eye infection, such as pink eye or anything like that. throw away anything that you use, because you do not want to reinfect yourself. And generally the second time you infect your eye, it's harder to get rid of, because the virus which was originally on your eye has had a chance to build up a tolerance to any medicine that you may be taking to get rid of it. So that's just a side tip that I want to have you guys be aware of. So that's it, guys. This is my small mascara stash, as well as information that I have gathered either from trial and error, from personal experience, or from simply just reading and talking to other YouTubers as to how to find or how to get that perfect mascara. If you have a holy grail mascara, or there's a product that I don't have that you would recommending that someone should try to get the length or the volume or whatever it is, please feel free to leave a comment down below and share with us, so that we can all at least test it out and find out if it's for us. Thank you again, guys, for watching my video. Know that you're blessed and loved, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.